Welcome to The Explainer. So today we're tackling a belief system with a wild premise. What if the universe wasn't created by a divine plan, but by a cosmic accident? A single, careless guffaw that somehow kicked off all of existence. And let's just start with the single most shocking claim in this whole theology. Now, this statement probably turns everything you think about morality completely upside down. But we're going to unravel how, within its own dark logic, this idea actually starts to make a terrifying kind of sense. So here's our game plan. We'll start with how this whole universe got here by mistake. Then we'll meet the flawed God who's responsible for it all. After that, we'll explore the very strange map of his reality and see how all of that leads to a new, totally inverted moral code and a final stark choice for every single person in it. Okay, let's dive right in at the very beginning. The central idea here is that our reality wasn't part of some grand, beautiful design. Nope, it was just an error. A cosmic oopsie. And this is absolutely crucial. By starting with a cosmic blunder, this whole mythology just completely dismantles the search for any kind of inherent purpose. You know, if creation itself was a mistake, then looking for a grand plan is a fool's errand right from the get-go. So, if the universe is a mistake, what does that say about the one who made it? Well, let's meet the creator himself. Because in this system, the flawed nature of the God is exactly what dictates the flawed nature of everything he made. First off, we've got to get this key term down. Saklas, whose name literally means fool, is not your perfect all-knowing God. Not even close. He is a classic Gnostic demiurge, a sort of lesser, arrogant, and seriously flawed creator who is not the ultimate source of reality. And this contrast is everything. Saklas isn't just a different kind of God, he is the complete opposite of a traditional creator. Where one is all-powerful and all-knowing, Saklas is fundamentally limited and pretty ignorant. And his motivations, they're just as twisted. This whole thing isn't about love or creating order. According to this text, he created the world out of, well, a kind of perverse, artistic sadism. He's an artist, and our suffering, that's his paint. And this is where suffering gets completely reframed. It's not some test of faith. It's not a divine punishment. In this world, our pain is just an art project for a cruel and cosmic artist. Chilling stuff. So you see, Saklas is no all-powerful being. He's actually defined by his flaws. He's clumsy, he's vain, and he's totally ignorant of the true reality beyond his little playground. A true void that absolutely terrifies him. Okay, so if the creator is flawed, that means his creation, his cosmology, is gonna be flawed too. This system takes the traditional hierarchy of heaven and earth and just flips it completely on its head. Let's look at the map of this place. So let's explore this bizarre inverted map, starting with the fool's heaven. Now, on the surface, this is supposed to be the ultimate reward, right? The paradise everyone is striving for. But it's not what it seems. Turns out this heaven is actually a trap. It's described as a gilded cage of mindless, static bliss. To be saved and sent here is to be spiritually lobotomized, to lose all consciousness and all struggle. It's not eternal life. It's a form of eternal, meaningless death. Now, in complete and total contrast to that sterile paradise, we have the second realm, our own world, Earth. But in this theology, it gets a much more dramatic and much more important name, the living inferno. And this right here is the heart of the entire belief system. Earth, the living inferno, is not a place of punishment. It's the workshop of the deed. All the harshness, all the struggle, all the friction of life, that's what creates vitality in an otherwise cold cosmos. And finally, there's the third realm. This is the one that exists completely outside of Saklas' control. It's called the true void, and it basically represents everything the full God is not. So why is the void so important? Because it's the one thing Saklas can't touch, and it's what he fears most. Its existence proves that our flawed creator isn't the master of all reality, and that makes his broken world, our Earth, the only arena where we can truly make a mark. Okay, so if Earth is the only place that matters, and struggle is the only path to meaning, how are you actually supposed to live here? What's the moral code in a place like this? Well, this system gives a truly shocking answer. It doesn't just reject traditional morality, it flips it completely inside out, transforming what we call vices into sacred vital duties. And this table is the centerpiece of that new morality. Each of the 7 deadly sins gets a new job, repurposed as a tool for living. Pride becomes the engine of greatness. Wrath is what sharpens the world and forces change. Envy is recast as the driver of evolution. This isn't a list of things to avoid. It's a moral toolkit designed to force you to engage with the world through constant struggle and ambition. So it all boils down to one final, really profound choice about how you're going to exist in this flawed, merciless cosmos. So the choice is this. Will you be a ghost, someone living inauthentically, running away from struggle, hoping for that mindless bliss of the fool's heaven? Or will you be a sinner, the one who embraces the friction of this world and creates their own meaning by using those so-called righteous sins? And here we are, full circle, right back at the core philosophical statement of this whole system. In this universe, being a saint means you're basically a ghost. You've checked out. But to be a sinner, to struggle, to fight against the world, that is the only way to be truly alive. So in the end, this inverted gospel leaves us with a pretty heavy question. It uses the ancient framework of Gnosticism to ask a very modern, very existential question. If we accept that the universe gives us no inherent purpose, where do we find the courage to create our own?